What if I told you heaven wasn't created on the first day, it was already there? That before God spoke the universe into existence, before the Big Bang, before time itself, there was already a perfect realm that simply existed? Judaism, Hinduism, and Norse mythology all describe this impossible reality in ways that'll blow your mind. What you're about to discover will completely flip everything you thought you knew about the beginning of everything. Let's go. What ancient texts say about reality before time began? Think about this for a second. What was there before let there be light? Before anything existed, before space, before the concept of existence itself? Most religions jump straight into creation stories, but the really ancient ones? They talk about something way more mind-blowing, a state of being that came before God even started creating. In Norse mythology, they called it Ginnungagap, the yawning void. But here's where it gets wild. This wasn't empty nothingness. It was a living gap, a pregnant pause full of pure potential. Picture this. On one side, you've got Niflheim, realm of ice and mist. On the other side, Muspelheim, a world of fire and chaos. And in between, Ginnungagap. When those two extremes finally touched, creation exploded into being. But before that moment, there was just this electric tension, this cosmic anticipation. The void wasn't dead, it was waiting. Now flip over to Hinduism. The Vedas describe something called Brahman, not a god with a personality, but pure consciousness itself. Before anything was created, Brahman just was. No objects, no subjects, no you or me. Just one unified field of awareness experiencing itself. The Upanishads say the state was Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, and bliss, all rolled into one. No suffering because there was nothing to suffer about. No separation because there was nothing separate. Total peace. And Judaism? The Kabbalistic texts talk about Ein Sof, which literally means without end. Before God revealed himself as the creator, there was this infinite, unknowable presence. No qualities, no name, no form, just boundless existence. The Zohar describes it as light so bright, it couldn't be looked at directly, so complete that nothing else could exist alongside it. It was perfect, absolute, and utterly alone. Take a deep breath right now. Imagine a state where you have no past, no future, no worries, no desires. Where you're not trying to become anything because you already are everything. That's the paradise these traditions are pointing to. And here's the crazy part. They all agree it actually existed. Why did perfection choose to create imperfection? Here's the question that keeps mystics up at night. If paradise was already perfect, why mess with it? Why would infinite perfection decide to create a finite, broken world full of pain and struggle? The answer is going to surprise you. Let's start with Jewish mysticism. The Kabbalah teaches something called Tzimtzum, divine contraction. Picture Ein Sof as this infinite ocean of light so vast, so complete, that there's literally no room for anything else. So what does the infinite do? It contracts. It pulls itself back, creating a tiny empty space within itself. And in that emptiness, creation begins. But here's what blows my mind. This wasn't because God needed something. It was because love needs an other. Perfection was lonely. The infinite wanted to give, to share, to create beings that could experience existence. And giving requires receiving, which requires separation. Think about that. The whole universe exists because the absolute decided loneliness was worse than perfection. Now jump to Hinduism. They've got a completely different take that's equally profound. Brahman didn't create the world out of loneliness, it did it for Leela, cosmic play. The unchanging eternal consciousness wanted to experience itself in every possible form. It wanted to be the lover and the beloved, the seeker and the sought, the question and the answer. So it dreamed, and we're that dream. Every person, every atom, every moment is Brahman exploring itself. The static became dynamic. The one became many, not because something was wrong, but because consciousness wanted adventure. The Norse saw it differently but arrived at the same truth. When ice and fire met in Ginnungagap, it wasn't random. It was necessary tension seeking release. From that clash came Ymir, the first giant. and from his sacrifice, the gods built all 9 worlds. Paradise had to die for life to begin. Peace had to shatter for story to unfold. Put your hand over your heart right now. Feel that beat. That's not an accident. That's the echo of when perfection chose movement over stillness. You're not a mistake. You're what happens when eternity gets curious. How your soul remembers where it came from. Every single person has this weird feeling sometimes, like you're homesick for a place you've never been. Like there's some piece you used to know, but can't quite remember. These ancient traditions say that's not nostalgia. That's memory. Soul memory of the paradise we came from. Hindu philosophy is crystal clear on this. Your essential nature is ananda, bliss. Not happiness that comes and goes, but unshakable peace that just is. Before you were born into this body, before you forgot who you really are, you were immersed in Brahman. The problem? Maya, illusion. Once you think you're just this separate body-mind, disconnected from everything else. But every once in a while in meditation, in nature, in moments of pure love, the curtain drops and you remember, oh yeah, I'm not separate. I'm the whole thing pretending to be a part. In Jewish mysticism, they teach that every soul comes directly from Ein Sof. Before birth, you were literally bathed in divine light, totally aware of your connection to the source. Then you incarnate and forget everything. But the forgetting isn't complete. That's why you feel pulled toward justice, compassion, and truth. Those aren't just nice ideas, they're your soul trying to find its way back home. Every mitzvah, every act of kindness is a breadcrumb trail back to paradise. The Norse concept of word ties into this too. You're not separate from the cosmos, you're woven into it. Your fate and the universe's fate are the same thread. When you live with courage and honor, you're not earning some afterlife reward. You're remembering your origin. You're living from that primordial Ginnungagap energy that birthed everything. Close your eyes for just a second. Notice the awareness that's noticing everything. That's not generated by your brain. That's the eternal consciousness, experiencing life through your eyes. You've never actually left paradise. You just forgot you were there. If this resonates with you, smash that like button. Drop one word in the comments that connects you to this truth, maybe wholeness, eternity, home, or peace. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. The real spiritual path isn't escaping life, it's waking up inside it. Here's where most modern religion gets it completely backwards. Thinking spirituality means rejecting the world, suffering through life, to get to some heaven later. The ancient wisdom says something radically different. Jewish tradition teaches Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. Your soul came from paradise, but it didn't come here to escape back. It came here with a mission. Every act of justice, every moment of compassion literally rebuilds heaven right here on earth. When you help someone, when you stand up for what's right, you're gathering the scattered sparks of divine light and putting them back together. The Messiah isn't coming to rescue us from this world. The Messiah happens when we finally finish fixing it. Paradise isn't back there in the past or up there in the sky. It's here, waiting for us to recognize it. Hinduism teaches the same thing from a different angle. Moksha, liberation, isn't about your individual soul dissolving into nothing. It's about realizing you were never separate in the first place. You're the wave and the ocean simultaneously. You're the temporary form and the eternal essence. When you get this, really get it, everything changes. You still work, love, create, struggle, but you're not drowning anymore because you know the depth is always there. You can dive into it anytime. And the Norse? They didn't sit around waiting for paradise after death. Valhalla wasn't retirement, it was warriors continuing to fight, but now with full awareness of their purpose. The hero who lives with complete presence, courage, and truth is already in paradise. There's no separation between sacred and mundane. Every conversation, every meal, every choice can be ceremony. So breathe deep and understand this. You don't need to die to get back to paradise. You need to wake up, to realize it never left. It's been here all along, hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to remember. If this video hit different, like it right now, subscribe to Faith Prayer, and turn on notifications. Comment awake if you feel this truth, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. We'll see you soon.